Lesson 4-3, using tables and graphs to solve. The big idea is tables and graphs are often useful for comparing values from two or more situations. So having two equations is going to be able to lead us into some answers about those equations. So it's important to understand how to set up those equations as well as interpret what they are telling us. Okay? This is very important for business majors in understanding important models. The only example we have today are you are a manager at an office. Your company needs to lease a copy machine. You must choose between two office supply firms. Acme Copiers offers a copier for $250 per month with an additional charge of 1 cent per copy. Best Printers offers the same machine for $70 per month with a per copy charge of 3 cents. Describe the break-even point, the situation for which the costs are the same. Okay, so we need two equations. We need one for the Acme copiers, and we need one for the Best Printers. Okay? So, my Acme is going to be y equals, what did we start with? Well, we started with $250 per month they're going to charge us. And then they're going to charge us an additional, so that's plus, 1 cent per copy. So 1 cent, how do you say per copy? Well, that per copy is going to be our X. Okay? For the Best Printers, so this was our Acme. This is our Best Printers. Equals, what did they start with? Well, they started with $70 per month. Plus a per copy charge of 3 cents. So 3 cents every copy. Okay? Now, describe our break-even point. Our break-even point is going to be when these two equations equal each other. So when 250 plus 0.01x equals 70 plus 0.03x. Okay? Now, we could use our calculator or we could do this by hand. Okay? What I mean by hand is I could simply subtract 70 from both sides. And I should have left myself a lot more room, but that's going to give me 180 and then I can subtract 0.01x from that side minus 0.01x. I'm kind of doing two steps at once. Sorry. Okay. This gives me 180. You cross these out. This gives me equals to 0.02x. And x is going to equal 180 divided by 0.02 equals 9,000 copies. Now, what does that mean? This is our break-even point. So our break-even point is at 9,000 copies. That means if we were going to make 9,000 copies for our business, okay, that means it doesn't matter which company I choose. But what if I'm not going to make 9,000? Well, let's go to our calculator. Okay? So I'm going to type in those two equations. And the first one is 250 plus 0.01x. My second equation is 70 plus 0.03. And if you notice our break-even point x, our break-even point was 9,000, so my window is going to have to be very big. Okay? Or my x-axis is going to have to be very big, so this is going to have to go out to like 15,000. And I'm going to have to go out by thousands probably. Okay. My Y's are going up by so many, so I will put that at 10,000 as well. And then that way we can see where they intersect. I'm going to graph that. Ooh, I didn't like that at all. Okay. Sorry, my window didn't need to be that big for on my Y scale. Let's just go to 1,000. And we'll go up by 100. Hopefully that will be enough. That's going to look a little bit better, I think. Yeah, as you can see, we got our two equations. The Acme got graphed first. And why do we know this is Acme? Well, it starts at 250. They're automatically charging us 250, so that's higher than the 70. Okay, so there's my Acme. Okay, this has a steeper slope because of the 0.03, so it has a steeper slope than what the 0.1 does. But as you can see right here is my break-even point. And if we go to my table, which I like tables a little bit better, I'm going to go to my table setup. But let's just go up by thousands just to make our lives easier. And hit second function table. But this is important. This is what I want you to look at. But if you notice at 0, okay, Acme's, that's my Y1, is at 250. My best is at 70. So if you scroll through here, this is what it's going to cost you. If you make 0 copies, it's going to cost you 250. It's going to cost you 70. If you make 1,000 copies, it's going to cost you 260. It's only going to cost you 100. So best printers is good all the way until you get to 9,000 copies. Okay? So if you're going to make 9,000 copies or under, you want the best. 9,000 or less. Okay? If you are going to make over 9,000 copies, as you can see here, if you make 10,000 copies, now this is 350, this is 370. So Acme's your better buy. Okay? So that's important to notice and important to recognize on your calculators. But especially when you run a business, you don't want to spend extra money where you don't have to. So Acme is good for 9,000 or more. So as a business manager, you need to decide, or you need to know based off your data over the course of a year or something, how many copies are you making? If you're making 9,000 or more, you better check in with Acme and get them to set up the printers. If you're making 9,000 or less, go ahead and call up Best. That's the important part of being a manager and being a smart businessman and making more profit for your dollar. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.